All right, what's up, y'all? So today we're recording the NBA Master Guy. It's gonna be completely free here on YouTube, and yeah, let's get into it. So we got a new little overlay with my head behind the green screen in the little bottom left corner. So I hope you guys like that. We're gonna switch it up a little bit, and yeah, let's get into it. So NBA, we're looking at points, right? So like points is our main stat for player props. We can get into assist and rebounds a little bit. But points is going to be like, it's like 80% of my bets, like to be honest. So it's 80% of my bets. And what we're looking at is their field goal attempts and how many minutes they're playing, their free throw attempts. And then, like, we're going to combine that together. And then we're going to see if he's going to go over his projected line or under his projected line. And we can look at their last 5 games, and that's going to be a clear indicator of like how many minutes they're getting and how many like field goal attempts they're getting recently. If they're on a good streak, if they're shooting well, if they're shooting bad, like we want to look at their last 5 games, especially. But like we want to look at also their their last 20 games, like their average, their season averages. But we can see all that on PropStat Cash, super easy. So that's what I use. But like yeah, we got the last 5, last 10, last 20 and we're gonna get into how to actually like apply these to some of the bets today. But I haven't really looked at the slate yet. So yeah. So this is what we're looking at. We want at least like so for the field goal attempts, if their line's like 12 and a half, say Jalen Duren's line is 12 and a half, but he's shooting an average of 13 field goal attempts a game, then we like the over because it's over 12 and a half. So the average field goal percentage in NBA, about like 50% for centers, like 45% for normal people. Um, but not to like exclude centers or anything. I don't care. But yeah. So the average field goal percentage is roughly so like 13 field goal attempts is going to translate to like 13 points roughly. Like if they're missing if they're missing like 50%, 60% of their shots, like this is what it's going to translate to. And yeah, so this is like really important information when we're betting on points. So this is going to be like our main figure we're looking at. We're looking at their field goal attempts. Like field goal attempts are everything. WNBA, it's field goals made, but like field goal attempts in the NBA is everything. So they're pretty consistent. Like all the guys, they're professional basketball players. They're the best guys out of their college. They go to the NBA. They're all like pretty young. They're going to be consistent. Like this is what they do for a living. They're going to be pretty consistent if they're getting enough minutes. Sometimes the coaches will pull them out on some bullshit, but if they're getting enough minutes and they're getting a respective amount of field goal attempts, where we got an edge, where we got like a 2 to 3 point edge, then we take their over. And yeah, it's just kind of how I pick my stuff. And we also looking at minutes, so like they need to be getting 20 plus minutes like recently, like the last 5 games. They need to be getting that type of minutes. If they're not, if they're on like the Grizzlies or something, you don't bet on them because like they're not getting any minutes on the Grizzlies. But yeah, that's like what we're gonna look at. We need at least 20 minutes. We need a field goal attempt higher than their point line, and if their field goal attempt line like isn't higher, like on average, then maybe we don't want to go with them. But we also need to look at their free throw attempts. So their free throw attempts basically they count for like half a field goal attempt right here. So free throw attempt counts for half a field goal attempt. So because it gets you like so a field goal attempt will get you like 2 points, free throw attempt will get you 1 point if you make it. So yeah, that's like kind of what we're looking at. So if they're getting 3 free throw attempts in 12 field goal attempts, that's like 15. So it's still over our 14 and a half point line. And like it makes it a lot easier when they're getting like 14 field goal attempts. Then like we have a clear over. And like when we have something like this, like they're getting an average of like 15 field goal attempts, 3 free throw attempts, their line's 14 and a half. We got a clear over. And like when we have a clear over, like say this is like Christian Braun or something. This is a good example right here. So this is a realistic Christian Braun line. And maybe it's a little higher now, but yeah, like we like this a lot. Like we love this so much to where like we're gonna put like a lot of money on it. Like we're gonna put like if our units like if our bet unit is like $2, like we could put like $80 on him. Like if we got a clear over, we do 40 bets. 40 bets, $80, and we just make a bunch of parlays with Christian Braun. If we know he's a lock, if we really like this, like he's getting a ton of field goal attempts, he's getting a lot of minutes, getting a lot of high usage percentage. Like we really like him. We think he's a lock. Like we're gonna put like $80, $100 on him right there, just because like we know he's a lock, right? So that's what we're looking at. Like your free throw attempts equals half a field goal attempt, right? So basically, free throw attempts plus field goal attempts times like 0.5 is our formula. Projected points. So say like okay, like 5 free throw attempts, and then we get like 10 field goal attempts. It's gonna make about that's off. Hold up. Maybe it's just free throw attempts plus field goal attempts. All right, whatever. Like this is like kind of what we're looking for. So we want like 5 free throw attempts plus 10 field goal attempts. And then their lines like 13 and a half. Like this is a clear over. Are clear unders. Let's look at a clear under. So say they're getting like 2 free throw attempts plus like 7 field goal attempts. They're not shooting much recently. Their line's 13 and a half. We're going under. Say we got like I don't know, like Darius Garland, and his line's like super high today for some reason, and then like he's getting like 18 field goal attempts. His line's like 27 and a half, clear under. Like these are like not enough field goal attempts to go over. That's kind of like my gist. But like if they're making threes, if they're making a bunch of threes recently, then you gotta look out for that as well. But maybe like this is more clear under. But like you're gonna look at their minutes. We want at least 20 minutes if we're going on our overs. If we're going on their unders, then we don't really care about their minutes. Like it doesn't really matter as much. Like if they're going under, then it's good. Like if they're on under 20 minutes, then it's good for unders. But yeah, we want to look at their field goal attempts and their free throw attempts. So that's like the main thing we're looking at. So how do we do that exactly? We boot up props.cash, and then we just go down here and look at their field goal attempt average. And if we want to look at their last 5 games, we just look right here. So Austin Reeves shooting an average at 15.6 field goal attempts. And then we look at his free throw attempts. Where is that? Right here. He's getting a 9.6 free throw attempt average. I know they just added Luca, so like that's gonna definitely impact these numbers here. But say he's getting 15.6 field goal attempts, so 15.6, and then his free throw attempts are like what was it, like 9 or something. So like this is a clear over. Like like this is a good example here. Clear over. He's like projected. This is his projected points roughly. Um, so that's how I would do it, right? Um, it's not like too complicated once you like know that. Like you can just add them together and basically get your projected points. You can make your own projected points. You don't have to rely on this app. And you also want to look at their matchup. So like look at who they're playing against. But yeah, let's update this real quick. So say we're looking at a game here. How would I look at a game and how would I choose their points like based off their matchup? So Wizards Pacers. So this is gonna be a high scoring game. So you got to keep this in mind. Like when it's a high scoring game, like props at cash doesn't update their differences like for it. Like as you see, a lot of the Indianapolis lines look like they're going under based off their projections, but their projections are just based off like the players shooting data. Like it's not really, it doesn't take into account the defense. Like it has this here, but their projections don't take into account like who they're playing against. So that's why some of them are like make it seem like they're really like good bets. Like it makes it seem like it's a really good under, but it's Washington's defense, so it's going to be a super high scoring game. So that's why you don't want to take these face value. Like if you take these face value, you will get burned. So that's something to keep in mind. You want to like create your own projections, like with the method I was just showing you. And yeah, so let's look at Halliburton here. So it's looking like a clear under based off all the stats. And yeah, maybe it will be. So he's getting like 12.2 field goal attempts, and we want to keep in mind, like when we do the last 20, last 30, we can tell that he's a good player. He can go off on some nights. Like we can tell he's a somewhat good player. And if you know the NBA, like he's a pretty good player. He's like he was in the All Stars last year. He was on the USA team, so he's obviously a pretty good player, and he has potential to pop off. And you see head to head, like against Washington, he dominates because they're like a bad defense. It's gonna be a high scoring game. You see, it's gonna be a high scoring game. So like when we have this, like we still like the overs on Indianapolis guys. Like they're playing Washington, and the Pacers are also a high scoring team, and we got to keep that in mind. So when we're betting on Washington, we see that Indianapolis is also a high paced team. Like their overs are going to hit a lot too. Like when they're scoring a ton of points, like the points go to the players, right? So they're going to score. Pacers are going to score 100, like 25 points, 126 points from these lines here. So like this score would be like 126 to 116 based off this total and spread. So you can keep that in mind. So they're going to get 126 points. Where are their field goal attempts coming from? Where are their shots coming from? And yeah, you can just like look at the different players and see who's shooting recently. So Nemhard is not shooting recently. He's getting 5.8 field goal attempts. So maybe he's not a good pick. Maybe like Obi Toppin's a better pick on an over. But yeah, these projected differences, we don't take them face value. Okay. So we want to look at the matchup, right? So let's look at an under type of game. So like Hornets Magic. So Hornets slow pace, Magic are super slow pace. Um, and we can look at all their information here. Like if we don't know the teams, like I already know the teams, so like I don't need to look at this every time. But if we don't know anything about the NBA and we just want to like do this based off like not knowing any of the players and just like do it purely based off numbers, like you can do that. Like it's not a problem. You can do that. Like it'd be better if you watched the games, you actually knew the players, you knew if they could go off or if they're like just like kind of role playing like when you watch them, you can actually tell if they're role players or they're like going to be shooting a bunch when they get on. But yeah, like so we got our defensive rating and our offensive rating. So this is important. And we also want to look at the pace. So pace, we just look at the rank and we see that they're not, and then we look at their average points per game, and then like we see that they're not scoring that many points. Um, I don't know where the average points per game is. I think it's on the app, but um, yeah, we like see that their pace is super slow. Like this is the main thing we're looking at. Their pace, super slow. Relative to the NBA, there's like 30 teams, so super slow. So they're not going to be scoring that many points. So both teams, like you got to take into account. So Charlotte's average lines are like relatively slow. Like so like what their averages are is based on just like every single team. So like the average of the NBA's pace, but they're playing Orlando. So Orlando's got a super slow pace. So their lines are not going to be reflective of this. Like their past 20 games are not going to be reflective of this slow pace, and they're going to go a little bit lower than their normal. Like so, we look at Diabate's like last 20 games. Like they're going to be a little bit lower than this because they're playing Orlando. So you see, like when he plays Orlando, doesn't score as much, right? So we want to look at the head to heads for sure. But like it's not a great indicator sometimes because they go through different phases where they're shooting hot and not. And like the head to heads showcase the past like 2 years, 3 years of shooting, like or playing against a certain team. So we don't want to necessarily take the head to heads as face value either, but we want to keep in mind who they're playing against and how that's going to affect their game. So maybe Josh Green, like maybe you think this would be a good over, but like they're playing Orlando, so maybe it's not. Like all these lines are going to be a little bit lower because this game is like a slower pace game. So maybe Franz Wagner like under is actually good here. Miles Bridges under is actually good here. Um, so say we want to take Miles Bridges under. Like, what am I looking at? So first off, we got a bunch of different lines here. So we're gonna go to BetMGM and hit this line. If it's minus 155, maybe not, but we want to take the best line here. But like we're gonna look at his field goal attempts. He's getting like 16 field goal attempts, right? And then we're gonna look at his free throw attempts. He's getting three, so 16.4 field goal attempts. Um, that's versus Orlando. So let's look at like average in general. So 17.3 field goal attempts, and then free throw attempts 3.8. So that is like 21 together. 17.3 plus 3.8. So that's 21. So his line's 23 and a half. So we like the under here. We really like the under here because it's like Orlando. So he's not going to be scoring that many points. So that's like a clear under that we would hit. Or like a Franz Wagner under playing against Charlotte, like super slow paced team. Not a great defensive team, but like super slow paced and Orlando's already really slow paced. So I like the under here, even though his lines are saying over. Maybe look at his field goal attempts. Maybe his field goal attempts are like crazy high. So maybe it's not okay. Yeah, his field goal attempts are crazy high. Like maybe we just stay away from this one. If he's shooting 28, 29 times, he could go over. So like we would just stay away from Wagner there. Hold up. Props.cash is glitching. All right. So let's look at rebounds. So that's basically points in a nutshell. Rebounds. What are we looking for? So points. Let me make this clear. So we want a 2+ projected point edge, right? So we want a 2+ projected point edge in either direction. And then we're going to calculate this with free throw attempts plus field goal attempts. And then roughly, so they're going to miss half their field goal attempts, and we're just going to assume they're just going to make all their field goal attempts. So this is roughly 1 point, and then this is roughly 1 point. And if they're shooting threes, like their three field goal percentage is going to be like 35, 40%. So it's going to roughly equate to 1 point as well. When they're shooting a two, they're going to hit like half of them. So it's going to be equate to 1 point. So each one is worth 1 point, and we're going to add them together. So they have 10 free throw attempts, 10 field goal attempts, 20 points. So that's our projected points. So we want a two plus projected points in either direction, and we want to make sure they're getting 20+ minutes on overs. And yeah, that's that. So that's points. Let's go to rebounds. Rebounds, we want a 1+ edge in either direction. And then we want a assist. We also want a 1+ edge in either direction. So how we're gonna project assist. So props.cash has a great feature for this. So let's find a good person for assist. So maybe let's see. Let's see what we got. So say we got Austin Reeves here. Austin Reeves over 4.5 assists. Okay, Luka just started playing this game. So this is like a new factor. Austin Reeves is going to be getting a little less assists with Luka. But like you still should hit this line. Look at his potential assists. So we know the average field goal percentage here, 45% roughly. His potential assist is 12.5. So props that guys is great for this. Like this is honestly a great bar graph that they're giving us. So potential assist. We're gonna divide that by 2, and then that's their projected assist. So say like people miss like half their potential assists, um, then that's what they're gonna. So like he had 10 potential assists here. Like I would project five. Maybe they only made 4 out of 10 of the shots. So like this is like when they're getting a shot up, and then they just like miss the shot sometimes. So you see when he had 17 potential assists here, he had 9 assists. So we love his potential assists. So we're gonna look at his average the past like 10, 25 games. And from there, we can see his potential assists like 12.7. So he's probably gonna go over, and this is a good over on an assist line. So like we project him at like six assists. Let's do another one. So maybe like Franz Wagner. He's got the ball a ton. He's like shooting a ton. His potential assist is 10.1 off the last 20 games, but recently he's not passing as much. Bankero has been kind of ass, so he's just like shooting every time. So his new potential assist, like recently, is like 7. So with that information, 3.5 is like a dead on line. So like we don't really like this either way. We would just fade this bet. Let's find like a clear under. So let's see. Alvarado's getting minutes now, so this is a little bit skewed. And when he's getting minutes, he's going to be passing a bunch. Maybe Paul George. Like, what's a clear under here? Draymond. This is a good under. Um, Draymond at 6.5 assists. It's just on FanDuel. All right, let's find a better one. Maybe like we would take Luca's under maybe. I don't know. These are all like star players. See, maybe like Halliburton. Maybe take a Halliburton's under. Wait, he's playing Washington though, so we wouldn't because he's gonna get a bunch of assists with Washington. Okay, there's not many good unders. Like, let's look at college basketball is where I go for my assist unders. This is the holy grail. Like, they're not giving me the lines anymore. Maybe I'm making too many videos about it, but like the high lines for assist are like gone for college basketball. I don't know what happened to him. All right, Dylan Harper's under. Okay, this is a good under. So we're gonna look at his potential assist if they have it. Okay, they don't have the potential assist here, but we would look at that, and we could also just look at his assist bar chart. Like this is a clear under. Um, he might be playing. He's playing an awful team, so that's why the line's this high. But like still, like it still might be a good under. Let's go back to NBA. But yeah, that's the gist of it. Um, Basically, potential assist divided by 2 of the projected assist it is going to be your projected assist. So, um, their potential assist is 12.5 divided by 2. It was basically Austin Reeves 625. Austin Reeves' line is 4.5. We got a 1.75 edge, and that's higher. And then our rule was 1 plus edge. So we got a 1.75 edge, which is really good for assists. Like this is a line we would hammer maybe. Like we'd hammer Austin Reeves 4.5 assist, and like if we have a point oh edge, like we're gonna hammer that line for sure, especially if it's under. Like um, one of the examples I used in another video was Ace Baldwin on Penn State. His line was like 8.5 assists one game. So I just went under because like he was averaging like 5.8 assists. Like if he's averaging that, then the edge is 2.7 on the under. So like it's clear under, right? But that's basically how we're gonna do it. The potential assist we can use for the NBA, and that's a great useful tool. Rebounds. We do rebounds yet? I don't think we did rebounds yet. So let's get into rebounds real quick. We want a 1 plus edge in either direction. So maybe like a Jackson Hayes would be good right now, or Dyson Daniels is good. Dyson Daniels is a rebound god. He's a rebound and assist god. Like I hit him like together with the rebounds and assists. Like I just go over on both the lines, get like plus 250 or something. And like he hits all the time, bro. Like he always goes over on his like rebounds and assist line. So he's playing tough Knicks defense, but their pace is pretty fast. So like maybe we look at the matchup here. if we wanted to see if we wanted to go over on him. Um, where is this? So we got Knicks. So like it's still a high scoring game. 240 points is the total. We look at their pace, a little bit slower, but Atlanta's still a super fast paced team. Defensive rating isn't great, so like he's still gonna be able to score on them, or they're still gonna be able to score. But if their pace is super fast, they're gonna get more rebounds, basically. Um, so the Knicks, like they're hard to get rebounds on because they have Cat, so it's gonna be hard to get rebounds over Cat. But like their pace is still like it's still projected to be a fast paced game, so it's probably gonna go over. Um, so we still like the over here. We like the over. Um, do they have potential rebounds here? I don't think they would have potential rebounds. But we can look at it as offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, just like rebounds in general, averaging 7. If we just look at his average, that's basically like what we're looking at. So his line's 5.5. He's averaging 7. And then we want to make sure he's getting minutes. So like they need to be getting minutes if we're gonna go on their overs. So we look at his minutes. He's getting 35.5 minutes, like ton of usage. Um, so like he's a clear over. It's like this is a 1.5 edge on the over, and we're gonna take the over here. Let's try to find like an under real quick. I don't know. You guys get the gist though. We're basically looking for a 1+ rebound under, or a 1+ like over. Either way, it's fine. But yeah, maybe we can find a quick example here. So maybe Klingon. Oh yeah, Klingon's getting no minutes. Like if his line's 9.5, like clear under here, playing against the Knicks. I don't know. That's clear under. Props that cash is bugging, but yeah. So what else are we gonna bet on for the NBA? We bet on spreads. We can bet on totals. How would I do that? Um, Personally, I don't really do this too much. I do spreads and totals more for college basketball just because it's more fun. But NBA spreads are brutal, man. They're super hard to get right because the lines are like so good. I don't know. Um, like when you're live betting, this is something important. So like when you're live betting and there's an underdog that's like plus 500, plus 700, like you almost get burned like more often than like you fucking win those. You'll have a plus 500 and you're like not gonna hit that. You're gonna hit that like 1 out of 10 times. So the underdogs are like super like dangerous, especially when they're giving you like the crazy good odds. Um, if you're gonna bet an underdog mid game, like this is the only thing I would do. This is the only thing like I do. Like I don't really touch the spreads or the totals, but like I hit the underdogs mid game, but like I get burned all the time on those. So um, that's something to keep in mind. Be careful with the underdogs. Like you might get carried away and think a bunch of underdogs are gonna hit their money lines, but most of the times they don't. And the spreads are the spreads for the reason. And it's like the Cavs here. Maybe you want to take the Raptors money line. Not a terrible play there at home, but like most of the times, like 90% of the time, the fucking Cavs are winning. So that's something to keep in mind. Like Celtics though, like Celtics could lose. Like they like don't try in some regular season games. I swear, like their coach just like be like working with FanDuel or some shit. But yeah. You want to be careful with the underdog money lines mid game. If you're gonna do them in the first or second quarter. Don't do them in like early third quarter is okay, but if you do them in the fourth quarter or late third quarter, like you're not gonna come back that 8 points or that 9 point difference. Like you want to hit their underdog money line because it's plus 500, but they just don't come back and they're down 9. It's like really hard to come back, especially in the NBA, especially with these good defenses. It's not like you're gonna be able to score like 10 in a row run, like easily. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Like when it's like late in the game, stay away from the underdog money lines. Underdog money lines, first, second quarter, when you already like the team to win, like you give them a little bit of a chance. You give them a better chance than their like odds are. So like it's plus 500. You think they got like a 30% chance, 33% chance of winning. Yeah, by all means go for it. It's like good EV, I guess. But you got to be careful. You can like a lot of people like lose money on the underdog money lines for sure. Um, it's just like a grab out of them. But the spreads are like dead on. Like, like you gotta like really know the NBA to be betting on spreads. And even if you know it, like it's still like 50-50 a lot of the times, and it could go either way. Like Knicks at home against the Hawks, like minus 7.5. Like if the Knicks are probably gonna win, but like are they gonna cover this? Coin toss, man. Like who knows? Um, Bulls are playing like ass. Like I would just take the Pistons minus 6.5 here. Um, but like yeah, spreads and totals are not your friend. They're like meant to be rigged. They're meant to be dead fucking online, and they usually are. Especially the totals. Like the totals are like so close every time. Like I just stay away from that stuff. College basketball, you're gonna find more good value for that. But if you want like if you wanted a projection like difference, so like say their line's like 233, you're projecting like 243. Like if you got a 10 plus point over or like over under like edge basically, then we can take a total. Um, but like a lot of the time it's not great. If you bet unders on the NBA, like you get burned sometimes. Bet unders on college spreads, then you're a lot better off. Like, because they'd be missing. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. NBA Master Guide. We went over points, rebounds, assists. Points is what I'd be betting like 80% of my bets on, and then or assists are what I'd be betting like 20% of my bets on. Just as like a heads up. That's like kind of how I do my bets. I don't really mess with rebounds. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, catch you guys in the next one.